I hope everyone had a chance to catch up a little bit more and place your bids on the items that you really like. I got outbid.
10 minutes? 10
Like,
minutes left?
yes, we have 10 minutes. Keep bidding. All right, so now we're going to welcome our chef instructor, Coster, on stage.
Hello again, everyone. And it's that time at Project Feast when it is a very happy moment. And it's a sad moment too, because we are happily graduating apprentices and we are sad to say goodbye. Although we never say goodbye, we are always in touch. But today we have Kenya with us who is graduating. Kenya, come on. It's your special day and special time. So this is Kenya. She's going to introduce herself and tell you a bit about herself and how she feels today.
My name is Kenya. Today is my graduation. I'm very happy. Um, um, yeah, thank you so much for the moment, for um, for s- say for they give me they for stay happy happy very happy today because sad because she's really to project it um not
It's been a pleasure having you. And here you go to make it even happier for you. Certificate. And we have a little gift for you, a knife kit for you to keep going in this career and profession.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and good luck with everything. Thank you. And then we also have some of our alumni who have joined us today, and we're extremely excited. And we've been chatting and giggling away and listening to their stories about what they've been up to, what's happening in their life. And so we would like to invite Gabriel. Would you like to come up and tell us what you're up to and what's happening? So let's hear it from him.
Hello.
Lisa.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Hello. Good evening. My name is Gabriel, and she's my wife, Luisa. I just want to say thank you to Project Fest because before we started Project Fest, we just think if we can open and start our business. So after we're done with the program, we just encouraged to open our business. It's been hard, but we already started, and we're happy and thank you for Project to having us.
Thank you.
Luisa, you want to say something?
Just I want to say thank you to Project Fist and to Ben and to Cashier. They were so nice with us and help us a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And they have been in catering also. So I don't think they mentioned it. They got a little nervous, but they have been really in the culinary field. So we wish them all the best. And who is coming next? We have one role model over here who we are proud of everyone else. We are very proud of him. Jinyu. Jinyu, thank you for joining us. And would you like to tell us what you are?
Okay. Yeah, I am Jinyu from South Korea. Last year, I completed this apprenticeship program. It motivated me to study more about the food or some baking. So currently, I taking the professional baking program at the Renton Technical College. I'm going to graduate in December. So after graduation, I hope I can work in a bakery. Thank you for your help and support. Thank you.
Yeah. We will make sure he comes back and make some pastries for us. Yes. We look forward to it, Jinyu.
all his pastries. We've told him that we are your testers and tasters, so keep bringing them in. And then we have, do we have anyone else? Tagreed, would you like to say a few words? Tagreed was in one of our first programs, right? Just a quick, brief.
My name is Kagari. It was a great experience to work with Liz and Amy on Zoom meeting for 6 weeks. We worked, we learned, and we had fun. So a big thanks to Liz and Amy for being flexible. Flexibility is a key to success. So here we are. It's time to celebrate. Congratulations for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Tagreed was a part of the digital storytelling series, which was led by Amy and Liz, who will be joining in right after this, right? Right now, actually. So you will hear more from Liz and Amy about the digital storytelling, and I was also a part of it, and I absolutely loved it. I will not even start at all the things that I learned from it, but I will pass it on to Amy and Liz. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Coulter, and thank you, Liz. Um, uh, Liz and I met a few years ago when I first started volunteering at Project Feast, and earlier this year, Liz reached out to me again and proposed this idea of an online digital storytelling workshop in partnership with Project Feast. So I connected her with Vaughn, and then we all put together this workshop, and Amy Hill was the lead facilitator of the workshop. So we are going to hear about and watch some of these beautiful digital stories that the 5 women of Project Feast put together. But I want to hand it over to Liz to tell us a bit more about this project.
Thanks so much. It's really fun and interesting to be here tonight at this online event and to introduce the Digital Storytelling Project. The production of the stories that you are about to view happened in collaborative fashion. So I want to take a couple minutes to introduce or identify the players. Starting with myself, I'm director of 3 Chairs for Refugees, a local digital arts initiative. And over the last 10 years, I've worked with a variety of partners to help immigrants and refugees in the Seattle area tell and share their personal stories in a multimedia form. The WIMBY, so-called WIMBY or Women in My Backyard project, launched this year and specifically focuses on capturing the tales of local refugee and immigrant women. Lucky me, I had the good fortune of lining up Amy Hill as a lead facilitator for the WIMBY workshop this winter or this year. And Amy is a staff member of Story Center out of Berkeley, California. And this is the organization that pioneered the unique production methods associated with digital storytelling. And she is one of the foremost practitioners in the field. So Amy, I couldn't see her on the list. If she's tuned in, it's from her perch in the mountains of the Sierra Nevada mountains of California. She said her Wi-Fi connection might be weak. So I hope if you're there, hi Amy. So now partnered up with Amy, I reached out, as Pingwan said, to my favorite local, I mean that, my favorite local nonprofit, and that is Project Feast. Vaughn immediately recognized the potential and signed on. She both recruited the storytellers for the spring WIMBY workshop and provided first-rate program management support. So over a period of a few weeks this spring and actually into the summer, Amy and I guided the Project Feast storytellers through the creative process of scripting their stories, gathering visual images and a soundtrack that supported their narrative, and then combining these elements through video editing to produce, voila, a digital story. So not surprisingly, the stories that surfaced in our workshop all had to do with food. And who knew that stories about red rice, a bowl of fish soup, rice pudding, a turkey, a layer cake, who knew that all those could be filled with such rich and profound meaning? You'll find out soon. So to wrap up, I'd like to offer a giant thank you to my partners. And I also want to give a shout out to professional photographer John Curry, who contributed his time and talent to our project. So if everyone's ready, let's roll them.
All right. Thank you, Liz. And yeah, here we can see all the participants in the digital storytelling workshop, and now we are going to watch their uh, their stories video. Hi, everybody.
As the clock ticked in the classroom, marking time until the last bell of the day, my mind wandered. My teacher could be telling us about fractions or the history of the country, but I was just wondering what my grandma was baking that afternoon. She's a wonderful cook. She makes bread, pastry, and especially lots of dessert. One of my favorites is her rice pudding, which is served in a rose-colored red dish. When I was growing up, my grandma lived close to my school. At the end of the day, when we got out of class, I always made sure to walk slowly as I passed her house, so that she would see me out the window and invite me in. Then she gave me a big serving of whatever dessert or pastry she had made. Later, when I got home, my mom offered me lunch, but I couldn't eat much of it because I was already full. She was so worried about me. She would say, "You are so skinny, you need to eat." Of course, she didn't know I had just filled my stomach with sweets, and my grandma and I never told her.
Standing by the tandoor under the neem tree on a sunny afternoon, the divine smell of piping hot naan distracts me, only to be interrupted by my mom's soft, polite, and convincing voice. Bhai, which means brother, will you please put this in your tandoor for 20 minutes? This was the very first of at least a dozen trips I made with my mom to accomplish the goal. This story is not about traditional Pakistani food. This story is about a black forest cake which came into my life thanks to my mother. My parents were foodies, and before that, it was even a word. They traveled a lot to scientific conferences that my dad attended, and they always came back talking about the amazing food they'd eaten in other countries. When I was a teenager, I wasn't like most of my peers, always wanting to be with other young people. Although I did have a lot of friends, I was attached to my mom, her adventures, and surprises. After a fancy new bakery opened up in the city, we tasted their Black Forest cake, and our whole family loved it. It's made with thin layers of a moist chocolate cake, alternating with cream and stewed cherries, with each bite melting in your mouth. My mom said, I have to figure out how to make this cake. The bakery's version was too expensive to have except on special occasions. We didn't have an oven, which was common back then, but there was a clay tandoor in our neighborhood where fresh bread was made. Every day for more than a week, I watched my mom mix different measurements and combinations of ingredients into a batter and I walked with her to that tandoor. In the beginning, I felt embarrassed when she asked the man who operated it to put it in the tandoor. At first, I'm pretty sure he thought she was crazy and said, "No, I cannot do that." But because he respected her, and she was pretty convincing too, he held out his hands and the pans went in. She failed many times, then finally the sponge came out perfect. For the layers, my mom whipped the cream by hand with a wire whisk. She couldn't find cherries, so she used canned peaches and walnuts instead. Later, she had an oven and baked it at home. When I grew up and had an oven of my own, I started making her version of the cake for my kids. The creation of the cake shaped my personality. I felt that each layer had a significance and taught me perseverance, being hardworking, polite, respectful, loving, caring, patient, and most importantly, never giving up.
Cuando era una pequeña niña, mi mamá solía cocinar arroz rojo para mi hermano y para mí, para cuando regresábamos de la escuela. Ella también hervía huevos. Regresábamos a casa como a la 1:30, lavábamos nuestras manos tan rápido para comenzar a comer. No podía esperar para devorar mi arroz y mi huevo cocido. Después, mi hermano y yo nos sentábamos en la mesa y mi mamá traía nuestros platos. Yo podía percibir ese delicioso aroma de mi arroz favorito y estaba ansiosa por comerlo. Algunas veces nos quemábamos nuestros dedos pelando nuestro caliente huevo cocido. Nosotros exprimíamos limón cubriendo todo. Mi hermano hacía sus caras chistosas. Nosotros comíamos tan rápido porque mi mamá decía, quien termine al último lavará los platos. De hecho, una vez mi hermano casi se ahoga con una cucharada de tortilla y sopa. Él se apuraba a vaciar su plato, obvio no quería limpiar, pero nosotros comíamos rápido porque teníamos demasiada hambre. Algunas veces, esos platos de arroz eran nuestro primer desayuno del día. Mi mamá solía prometer traer un lonche a la escuela en la hora de nuestro recreo. Mientras tanto, mi estómago gruñía y las letras no se grababan en mi cabeza. Se me hacía largo el tiempo para que la campana sonara. Cuando finalmente escuchaba la campana sonar, corría al cancel de la escuela a esperar a mi mamá con mi lonche. Pero ella nunca llegaba. Tenía una amiga quien algunas veces compartía su sándwich conmigo, pero no era suficiente. Me sentía triste. Tenía que regresar a mi asiento de la clase con hambre. Ahora, cuando yo cocino arroz, ¿cómo puedo ir a la escuela sin música alguna? Pienso de mi madre, eso es algo. Ella no tenía demasiado dinero para comida. Creo que son lecciones de la vida. Aún con limitaciones, puedo decir que fui una niña feliz. Gracias a Dios por tener una madre tan trabajadora. Sé que siempre se esforzó demasiado para mis hermanos y para mí.
holiday is Thanksgiving. Since we arrived to the US in 2015, we celebrated it every year with my friends and neighbors, whether they came over or we joined them at their house. We gathered together over a shared meal and blessing. Before the war, every day of my life in Baghdad felt like Thanksgiving because I was surrounded by my loved ones. Then in 2003, when Harvard began, my family of 3 kids was separated. A daughter ended up in Turkey, a son in Libya, and now my other son, who had been with me in Seattle, is studying in France. But once a year, I could recreate the sense of family closeness. Last year was different with COVID. Gatherings were canceled. No people, no hugs. But I wasn't going to sit in a corner. I knew people needed hope. 2 days before Thanksgiving, I put my cloth mask on, drove to the grocery store, and bought a 24-pound turkey. I thawed it for hours, then soaked it overnight in fresh lemon juice, vinegar, garlic, cloves, cardamom, peppers, and pomegranate molasses. I jumped over to Costco to buy a turkey roasting pan that fit the size and weight of the turkey, which I couldn't carry without my husband's help. I was shocked at not being able to find pumpkins. My baby sheep, as I was calling the huge bird, was waiting for me to feed his stomach with basmati rice, almonds, raisins, carrots, peas, some spices, then to be topped with meatballs. While I put the creme caramel in the oven and began making eggplant salad, someone knocked on my door. It was Joe, a friend of my son in Paris. They had just spoken on the phone, and Joe brought me 5 pumpkins in different sizes and colors. I used one for creamy mushroom soup, two for blueberry baked custard layers, and the rest for a fruit turkey. I delivered all this love in a box to my colleagues, Olivia, David, Laurie, and Brandy, and, of course, to Joe, who had made my day.
Fueron muy cariñosos, aunque no era una niña fácil. Siempre fui seria, obstinada y más madura que otros niños de mi edad. Cocinar era una manera de decirles que las amo. Para mí, machuca fue el mejor pescado para comer. Mi abuelo a veces iba a pescar y luego haría nuestra sopa de pescado machuca hondureña. Rallé coco para extraer el jugo y lo mezclé con ajo, comino, pimienta, chile. Luego agregué plátano macho hervido y triturado. Lo serví todo en un plato hondo, la sopa y el pescado en el mismo plato. Todavía pude oler los sabores y puedo escuchar a mis abuelos decir: Kenia hace la mejor sopa. Como los niños a menudo discutían sobre quién debería quedarse con las piezas más grandes. Mientras nos sentamos juntos a la mesa, los escuché y solo me reí. Perdí a mis abuelos cuando llegué a Estados Unidos, pero amo este recuerdo.
Thank you, all of you, for sharing your beautiful stories with us in video form. Now we're going to hand over to Vaughn for the exciting moment of the announcement of our auction winners.
I hope you enjoyed all the videos and the stories, and some were so heartwarming and touching. I was watching them right now, and I was a little overwhelmed. But I hope you enjoyed them. A special thank you to Liz and Amy for supporting us, helping us, guiding us, and teaching us so much. I think before I say something, I would love Hazel. Would you like to say a few words about your experience working with?
I really appreciate the opportunity that you give me for make a video and learn a lot. I'm really thankful for this opportunity to learn, and I have so fun with this make that video. And thank you, Liz, and everyone in this program for give us this opportunity.
Thank you. Anna, you want to
No,
say a quick word?
Okay.
Just a quick word. Thank you.
Um,
That's all right.
okay. It was my pleasure to be part of such a wonderful program. Thanks, Liz and Amy, and we all get a pride of this program. Thank you.
Thank you for opportunity. Thank you for everyone. Thank you for my life, for um, for everything. Thank you.
Thank you. That says it all. I had a wonderful time, but I learned a lot. I got an opportunity to reflect back into my childhood and think of, when we were asked to think about stories, and I came up with the cake story, and one had heard about the story, and she said, you should do that. And it really gave me an opportunity to reflect back and think about what this cake meant to me and how it evolved me and made me into the person, really, really shaped my personality. So thank you. We really appreciate it. I think the storytelling session initially, we didn't know what we were expecting, but we learned a lot. We learned how to make videos, right? A lot of things, but I think it's time for me to pass this on to One. And thank you everyone for joining in today. Thank you from all of us.
All right. Thank you, ladies. All right. Also, I wanted to say special thanks to our founder, Veena Prasad, who could not be here tonight. But we are so thankful for her for starting this organization, which, we're all a family now. And anyways, it's just been such a wonderful opportunity. So sorry you couldn't make it, Veena. I'm sure she'll be really upset to have missed this auction. And so I have the winners. So I'm here to announce the winners of the auction tonight. And the printer was not working, which is why I'm holding onto my laptop. But okay, so number 1, pie, 3 pies. Liz Norville, congratulations. Book Larder, the beautiful book bag with those books. I was eyeing that all these weeks. That goes to Archana Verma. Custom House Art, Cynthia Kim. Original Art, Growing Good Ties, Anshay. Karachi Kitchen Chutney and Spice Gift Box, Sarah Finley. Hemlava Plant Person Gift Basket, Anshay. Portrait Photography Session with John Curry goes to Prani Halverson. Signed Cookish Cookbook from Milk Street, Sandra Gray. 3 of Cups, 2 bottles of wine, and an 8-person wine tasting, Senthil Chandran. $100 Milk Street gift card goes to Justin Smith. 8 hours of French lesson goes to Valerie Answer. Amazon gift card goes to Albert Wayne. Brown Sun hat from the San Diego Hat Company. Justin, I'm very upset you outbid me. Took advantage of me having to present tonight. Navy blue sun hat goes to Nanny Rawlings. Design Your Own Cake goes to Simon Bernstein, who actually did the buy now purchase, which is double the retail price. So thank you, Simon. Essential Baking Company, 2 take and bake kits. One goes to Liz Merville, one goes to Judy Eaton. Gift basket from Indian Food Life Corps goes to Sarah Rothman. Gift card to West Seattle Wine Cellar, Senthil Chandran. Gift package of items from the Refugee Artisan Initiative, one of our partners, Justin Smith. Handmade mug from Phase Art goes to Lindy Fulmer. KUOW swag bag goes to Valerie Ensor. A variety pack of handmade cards. There were 3 of these. Goes to Sandra Gray, Anshe, and Holly Rojan. Finally, Winslow Walking Tour and Wine Tasting for 4 goes to Sabella F. And then I wanted to give you the total, which I have right here. So in total, I just saw the total. Our auction raised $6,080. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating tonight. I think that's it. Does anyone else have anything to say from Project Feast? All right. Otherwise, we are done here at Project Feast. Thank you again for joining us tonight.
All right. Thank you very much, Fawn, and congratulations to all of the winners. I was moving too slowly, and I everything. You did well.
Yeah, I got some really nice items. We can talk about we can negotiate about the sun hat later on, Fawn.
All right.
We just wanted to say thank you so much to everyone who attended tonight. That is it for all of our scheduled content, but we are going to go back to the table mode, keep the tables open for people to be able to stick around, keep talking, keep chatting with us. Feel free to hop around between the tables. And 2 last reminders. One, if you won any of those auction items, you do need to go back and click in through the auction and make sure you pay for them. That is an important step in getting the items. It can't just be a bid. You do have to follow through. And then lastly, we hope you stick around. We hope you chat with us. I'm currently enjoying my cocktail that came with my dinner. But if and when you do leave, in the bottom left corner, or I'm sorry, the bottom right corner of your screen, there is an exit event button. If you could click that when you leave as opposed to just closing out the window, it just helps us keep track of some things. And lastly, one more thing that I think Pingwan had already put into the chat, but in case you didn't see it, we are going to be taking all those videos and putting them on the Project Feast YouTube page. And so, if you follow us on social or get through our website, and you'll be able to go and view those again if you wanted to share them with other people and share our story. And that's, I think, it. Am I missing any last thank yous? Thank you again to our donors and to everyone for attending, and a big round of applause if you want to hit the clap button again for Pingwan, who made all of tonight happen behind the scenes and typing into the chat and getting everything together.
Thank you. I hope everyone enjoyed tonight's event, and then feel free to send us any feedback, and we would really invite you to stay on and as we return to the dining room, and then feel free to jump from table to table to chat with other guests, or stay at your own table and then keep chatting. All right, so we are going to close the stage now, and we will be back to the floor. Bye.